Welcome to my voiceover world. Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm well, you?
I'm doing great. Mm, thanks for willing to do this.
Of course.
You know, I've been wanting to say this to you, but I've been getting to know a lot about you because of your characters from the show Lil Kev,
Yeah.
and and because of that, I'm beginning to know about you and your voices that you've been part of so many recent projects lately, and many more that are yet to come, which you deserve that, to be
Oh,
honest.
thank you. Thank you. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I am.
Well, that's the idea right there. And that's why it should happen for everybody's sake. Because, hey, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows of this. That way, you know, that way everything gets sorted out. But to get started with that, there are many questions I wanted to ask you.
Of course. Should fire away. Also, it's nice meeting you in virtually.
Yes, and on social media, of course.
Yeah.
You've been part of so many incredible projects, right? So how does it feel about being in these incredible projects, like bringing different characters that you brought to life and more yet to come?
It feels pretty surreal. I mean, I think the way I view it is I'm just one small fish in a really big pond. That's adding a little bit more life to a story. Um, I really have fallen in love with the bigger pictures of projects that I've been on. So I'm grateful for all of the projects that I've been on, but I think the most important thing to me when coming into a project is looking at the bigger picture and bringing life to the bigger picture
Hmm,
through like whatever character I'm casted as.
that's very interesting to hear from you, which leads me to the most important question, but what inspired you to pursue voice acting, and what is the best decision that you have made so far that has excelled into your voice acting career? For what purpose?
Um, So I was in like on my way to them being like a doctor. I only been voice acting for the last, I think, 18 months now. I started just because on a whim, I, I was after COVID, I had left school. I had done a couple jobs, but then I was like, what am I good at? Like, what do people tell me I'm good at? And a lot of people told me that my voice was would be suited for voice acting, so I just threw it out there one day and decided to be a voice actor. um and the I think the best lesson that I've learned and the best decision that I've made since voice acting is one, these two things. One, have fun with it, because I think that's what really it's all about is I think I just focus on having fun and the fun element of it. And two, um, and two, I believe that I don't know what I don't know. So the moment I feel like I know something or I've mastered something is the moment that I feel like, I've not failed, but like I just don't know what I don't know, if that makes any sense. I'm always open to learning and growing. So I think that's what it is open heart, open mind, and having fun.
Hmm, that's very interesting to hear. And that's how you got into voice acting because all that stuff you've been going through is like you trying to become a doctor and you end up becoming that. Hmm. To be honest, I met some people in my interviews that actually does a lot of work besides voice acting, like a good a good a good person I met with named Gavin Haman, who is best known for X-Men 97 and Sonic in the Black Knight. He's not only
Mm.
is he a voice actor, but he's actually worked in a lot of outdoor construction and is part of the rock band. You look up in his Instagram profile and you might end up seeing him in world tour with the others.
Oh,
And
wow. I didn't know that.
yeah, and I also learned from another person that Jacob Barley, who's from the some of the projects you were part of and part of anime such as Cyberpunk Edge Runners and many others, that not only is he a voice actor, but he actually works in many restaurants as a bartender and actually goes through a lot of working experience. Because
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. No one, I don't know a lot of people who are just solely voice actors. I personally, how I make money and what I do every day is I either babysit or I do doula work. So
yeah, because as a voice actor myself, not only do I do that, but I also worked in other things like outdoor construction with which I help out a lot, just helping to build things and making sure they look very awesome in a way. And
yeah,
and also my YouTube channel on the other hand, which I'm very successful at a lot of things. So yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's what it is pretty much when you're voice acting. You just got to be multifaceted.
Now that's very interesting right there. Like that type of tone you bring upon. Now, what is it that you hope to accomplish when you get yourself into more projects?
I hope to accomplish, I don't know, a lot. I feel like there's a lot in my career that I still want to do. I think the biggest thing that I want to conquer is I would love my dream in the world that I'm praying and manifesting forever and I love so much and I really want to do it is Disney. I would love to be a Disney princess or a Pixar lead. That is my dream in life.
Hmm.
I think so far for voice acting. I think Disney really changed my life and it's one of my favorite. I love everything about Disney. I have a Disneyland pass. Um and I think that's also something that like pulled me into voice acting. But I guess in terms of like another important thing, it's just representation. I'm half Chinese, half black, and you don't see a lot of people with my mix um you don't see a lot of people with my mix being represented, and so I love that I get to represent um people even if it's smaller roles or bigger roles. I'm so happy that I get to share my voice with everyone.
Hmm. Well, that's most interesting to hear from you. There are two things you must know, but number one, I myself am half Hispanic and half American, but honestly, I don't even speak Spanish that much, but I
But
just
you're
often,
still half Hispanic. It doesn't matter if you don't speak the
yeah,
language. I think
and
you're still half and half. That's what your DNA says.
yeah. But number two, there's one thing you must know, but I don't even care about nobody's appearances, nor do I care about who anybody looks like. I'm more interested in is their actions that matters the most, because the actions of and personalities of those who are willing to make their own choices for their own sake is what I truly care about.
That's
That
re-
is who I am right there.
that's really important. That's actually really like a beautiful way of looking at life, of looking at people's actions.
Indeed. Now, there are many questions about your characters right there and projects right there, but hmm, do you recall that day when you were brought into this project called Monster Hunter Wilds, right? So, what's the most awesome thing when you were brought into that video game franchise?
Oh yeah, I play a bunch of little kids. I think what it was is I got a call from my amazing agents, um, Aaron and Brittany, and they said that they had pitched me for a game because they know of my background because I speak Mandarin conversational, and I grew up in different parts of the world like South Africa, and I travel, and I guess casting was looking for someone who could pick up another language um pretty easy, kind of like Simlish. So all these characters in Monster Hunter Wilds that I play, they don't speak English. they say like things like a nuke, kind of thing, and they need someone who could do that, and still have the cadence, as well as sound like a child. And so I remember them being like, "Well, we pitched you, and then we're gonna do this session, and then you're just gonna do a bunch of kid voices, and we'll see how it goes." And I went in, I had Bill direct me, and did a bunch of kid voices, and they were really happy with it. And they were like, wow, because I was super excited about it. And they were like, no, everyone hates this part. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, from then on, they just brought me in a little, like, a couple more sessions to do kid voices. But that's all. I think I had a lot of fun with that project. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much how I got in that project, I guess.
Well, that's most interesting to hear from you, because all I know is that I got to meet some of the actors of that game, thus Kate Clark included, and the legendary GOAT himself, Dave Fennoy, the man behind so
Oh,
many.
I love Dave Fennoy.
Yep, I got to meet Dave himself, and turns out I've done a lot of videos for him for years, and that he's been part of so many anime projects lately, and that him being part of anime is the best choice to get himself to be awesome at everything. And I'm glad that Bill Rogers, legendary director of who's also best known for doing in Pokemon and many other anime projects, did a good job directing you, along with Jonathan Klein.
Yes.
And that's what I like about everybody, just doing what's right and just giving them a lot of greatness into the industry. Now, without further ado, you being part of the project, Lil Kev, I meant, as the voices of Soupy, Dirty Dante, and Lorin must have been so awesome, right? So what's the most thrilling thing when you got to be in that project?
The most thrilling thing ever when I got to be in the project is the day I met Cree Summer. And I'm not, I love Cree Summer so much. She is so talented. She's one of the people that I look up to. Um, that's one of the highlights, I believe. Um, that's one of the highlights, I believe. And another highlight is when I got the character officially for Dirty Dante, because I was doing Scratch for him for a long time. And when I officially settled into his character, that was a beautiful day for me too, because a lot of the producing and producers and showrunners came up to me afterwards and they were like, wow, you really put it in, like, put his voice into perspective.
Must have felt nice, huh? To be
Yeah.
part of to meeting a legendary icon right there. An icon from childhood. Because honestly, I did look up to Cree Summer since codenamed Kids Next Door since I was 6 years old.
I know that's not. Oh, she's one of my favorites in Kids Next Door.
And yep, and that man, they Cree Summers once says with both Ben Deskin and D. Bradley Baker, even the creator himself, they really wanted to bring Codename Kids Next Door back. It's just the only problem is the studios itself that didn't allow them to do that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, whoever brought you in did a good job directing you throughout the entire series. Just
Oh, thank you.
of course. Plus, I got to meet one of the actors of that show the like months ago, Michael Scott Action, the one who does like many various of additional voices in there.
Of which? Of
Of like in Lil Kev,
Oh, okay.
who's also involved in a lot of projects.
Oh
Because
yeah, Michael Scott is was involved in a lot of projects.
yes, and he's actually been a great follower of mine lately. Even gave me credit for what I've been doing.
Wow. Oh, I love Michael.
He is indeed very awesome. Hmm. Now then, you being part of the project Cookie Run Kingdom as the voice of Candy Apple Cookie must have been so awesome, right? So what's the most favorite thing about playing that character throughout the entire video game franchise?
love that she's a fangirl. When I came into the the studio and they explained to me a little bit more about her character, they were like, "This is a fangirl. She is obsessed." And as a fangirl myself, because I used to be a fangirl for boy bands, for a bunch of things, I just really locked into like the screamy, shrieky, like loving kind of character. And I love that I don't know, I just love that she's unapologetically herself and as loud as she wants to be and all of the above.
Well, that's the most interesting thing I'm beginning to hear from you. Because all I know is that you being part of that project was just the most brilliant choice that you ever made. Especially when you, on the other hand, get to be along with Jeremy Shada, the voice of Finn from Adventure Time, who is involved in the game, along with
Yeah.
along with those that I've got to meet with right there.
There are so many talented people in the game. There's Madeline Curry, who is Orange Cookie. There's Capritano, who's Lime Cookie.
Anna
There,
Rice Canois.
yes, there's Barrett Letty, who's Black Sapphire Cookie.
Oh,
CJ
even
is,
Yuri Lowenthal.
yes, Yuri Lowenthal is pure vanilla. And I don't just play Candy Apple Cookie, I play young pure vanilla as well. So the younger version of Yuri's character.
Wait, you do you do the very young version of Pure White?
Of
You
of,
never
of young pure vanilla.
what? No, and it wasn't even credited in there?
No.
Dude, everyone should know of this. Because if they
Oh,
don't show that right there, it will dishonor the community. And it should
oh,
definitely happen. And mark my words, I am definitely going to make sure it gets credited. I promise you
oh,
that.
thank you. No, yeah, they were like, "Can you do Candy Apple?" And then they were like, "Can you do this little boy for this character?" And I at the time I had no idea who Pure Vanilla was, and it was like they wanted him very, very smooth. Oh, little lamb, huh? They wanted him like his voice like to be very smooth and young, and like it was really fun. It was really fun.
Wow. I never knew of this until right now. But now that I know, it should definitely be recognized right there. And I give props to the voice directors Amber Lee Connors, Jamie Martello, and Rachel Hauger for directing you throughout the entire game.
I love Jamie and I love Amber as well. Amber is amazing. I worked with Jamie on another project, some projects, I believe, Guardian Tales and uh, Rusty
Guardian?
Rabbit. I believe that was with Jamie as well.
Wait a second. You were in Guardian Tales?
Yeah,
You
I
were.
was Shaman. I was the panda girl.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm definitely going to ask you this, but what do you like most about being in that game as that character, the shaman? Yeah, shaman, I meant.
I love that it was a Chinese presenting character because it was one of my first, I think, Chinese presenting characters. And I'm half Chinese, but not a lot of people will see that because I don't look it. Um, but I so it was really exciting for me to represent another part of myself that not a lot of people recognize when they first meet me.
Wow. Now that's something I'm beginning to learn from you these days. But just know that you being part of that game, it's like the most thrilling thing ever, especially when your character gets along with a lot of people, such as oh right, Mila Lee, Valerie Rose Ledham, and even Jenny Torado, Allegra Clark, and everybody else there, even Alex Lee as well.
I love Allegra Clark. She's so amazing.
I got to meet her myself, you know.
Really?
Yep, in a convention 1 year ago, and she actually sees me like if I'm some kind of an anime character right there. And
What?
that's why my desire to working with her and everybody else is absolute. Hm.
No, yeah, she's amazing.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Now, without further ado, there's one thing I like to ask, but you being part of Rusty Rabbit as the voice of Ewan must have been
It
so
was.
cool, right? So
It
what's the
was
most
so
awesome
cool.
about being that character in in the entire video game?
Um, I think it was I was really excited that also Tara Strong was on the project. That was like one of the first things they told me. Um, I that was one of the most exciting things. Number two, I think it was just I really like the concept of Rusty Rabbit. I've played Rusty Rabbit. It's super fun. I think the highlight of that entire project for me um was that um highlight of the entire project for me was that I got to work with Jamie. It's always been so fun and a pleasure to work with Jamie.
Hmm. Well, that's very awesome to hear that you being part of Rusty Rabbit was the most thrilling thing that's ever to be done, especially when you get to be along with Young Ye, the man
Yes.
behind JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Demon Slayer, and you got to be with Lars the Hill, even your Lowenthal's in it, and most importantly, Josh Keaton himself is in there too, and you're next to him, right in the credits there.
Yeah, big names. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that, like being next to big names. I was looking at something that came out today that I was a part of, Trails of the Sky.
Oh, you know what? I am going to ask you this question, but what's the most awesome thing when you got to be part of the latest project that came out yesterday, Trails in the Sky First Chapter? What do you love most about being in that game?
I think the best memory that I have is in my session, because I just provided additional rules, but I have so many friends on that game, which I love. But in my session, I was passing by and I ran into another voice on that game, Rebecca Wong. And that was my first time meeting her in person because we had been like in online internet friends. Um, and it was just it for me, it was like after I became a voice actor after COVID, and not a lot of people record together. So it just felt that much nicer to like run into like a friend or someone passing by in the studio. It felt like a little bit like you know what I mean? Like they were there with me.
Hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean by that, and I totally get it. Because, hey, you being part of that game was the most thrilling thing that has ever been happened to you. And I give props to Mark Howes for directing you throughout the entire session there. Plus, you want to know something? I watched a film that Rebecca Wang was in, and you may know that film.
Demon Slayer.
Bingo! Where she alongside with Channing Tatum, which got me wanting to see it because of him. And you want to know the best part? Steve Staley himself, the English dub of director of Demon Slayer, actually recommended me to do that, and I took his request and made it happen.
Stop.
Yeah, he actually, he and I interact with each other for like 4 years. It's like, man, he really has the desire of working with me. So yeah, but hey, you being part of it, best choice ever right there. Especially when you got to be along with not only with Rebecca Wang, but with Richard Apcar, through Kyle Abear, and even Jim Maskman himself was involved in it too. He was like,
I
wait, I was
know.
like, wait a second, Jim Maskman inside an anime game? No way. Now this is the most coolest thing ever. But honestly, though, he really was super awesome when it comes to him being Ultron and Marvel Rivals and others. So
Yep.
yeah. Now, without further ado, you being part of the project Witchwatch as the voice of Syrup must have been so awesome, right? So what's the most thrilling thing when you got to be in that anime show as the voice of Syrup?
I'm a huge anime fan and I have been most of my life. So it was really exciting. Mommy emailed my agent and pretty much offered me the role. I had been auditioning for her for quite a while for some other things. And I remember when I saw the picture of the character, and then I also had read the manga, so I knew what syrup looked like. And I came into my session because this is my first anime session. I wanted it to be memorable. I just came into my session dressed as syrup, which was super exciting. And that's also something that I really love to do when I come into sessions is I like to dress up. Um, and so I don't know, it was just a memorable moment for me because I got to work with Bang Zoom, and everyone has been so lovely and so kind there. And I can't wait to have the opportunity to work with them again.
I see. So that's what you like about being in that show. 'Cause all I know is that I've been seeing a lot of clips of that show through through many Instagram posts or something like that. But hey, you being part of it was just brilliant right there. Especially when you get to be along with a lot of people there, like Howard Wang, for example, and you're twins with Kimberly and Campbell, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
know. So cool.
Yeah, and I give props to both Loris de Hill for and Lucian Dodge and Alex Von David for directing you throughout the entire series.
Oh, Laura is amazing, and she makes me feel so safe and so seen in the booth. And I always get nervous about dubbing, but she makes you feel like you know, she sometimes when you go into the booth, because like the audition element, I'm having fun, but sometimes going into the booth, I can get a bit nervous, and I think a lot of actors can get a bit nervous too. But she has that je ne sais quoi that makes me feel uh like I'm having fun in the booth, like I'm hanging out and not like I'm.
You want to know something? I met with Laura along with her partner Kyo in December.
Oh
I
yeah, would you
because
meet them?
I met them in the convention center because I told them about the videos I've done for them for years. Like one video I did for Laura that one time was involving that show that she was brought into called Pluto, which is on
Yeah,
Netflix, which
I
I
love Pluto.
which I did a video about it, characters and voice actors of the show, which I included Keith David, the man behind
Oh my
the
gosh, I love Cute. He
getting,
did so well in that.
yep, along with Dr. Eggman himself. It's like, boy, Dr. Eggman and Dr. Facilier interacting with each other? That must be the most brilliant thing that have happened to broke the internet right
Oh
there.
yeah. Well, oh Sebastian, I really like the way that you put characters, like, not you're not just looking at the characters, but the voice actors, like in the voice acting history together. It's like this voice acting, it has been so crazy for me because I'm just learning about like did a class with Stephanie Shea not too long ago, and I was like, wait, Eureka from Eureka 7. I was like, oh my God. And I spent the entire class being like, I'm in class, I'm being taught by Eureka. Like childhood me would be like crying right now. Um, it adds that fun element to it, you know?
Indeed. You know, is there any questions you'd like to ask me? But
How long have you been interviewing?
to answer your question, I've been doing this for 4 years because
Wow.
the truth is, I wanted to do a lot of I wanted to get to know a lot of voice actors very well for who they really are personally. And when entering because before I was a bit unprofessional, but then by 2022, thanks to me going to the conventions, I learned how to be more sociable with others and and because of the guidance I've gained from my parents and everybody else, I became a more developmental person, and that's what led to my success right there. But also, I have autism, and that I've used an autism as a unique ability to influence others to do the right thing.
I love that. I I I love that. I really do. I think that And I can relate with you when it comes to conventions. I think conventions have been like the one place where I feel seen and not judged, and also able to practice a lot of my sociable skills. I was homeschooled for most of my life, so I'm was socially awkward when I did start school. And I think that like manga, that's where like manga, comics, anime like really kind of helped me build like a huge community of people that like understood me and the things I like and where I'm coming from. And I can imagine that, these interviews um have brought people together in a way and represented people in a way. And I think it's super amazing. I feel so special, and that you even reached out to me, and that you're even taking the time to interview me. And I've had fun so far. You've had some really, really, really good questions.
Of course, because to tell you the truth, my desire to working in the voice acting industry, even with you as well, is absolute, and I will do anything to accomplish that goal eventually when that time comes. Even
Well, you have
though
an amazing voice. I think you will.
everybody says that to me. You know who even said the same thing?
Ooh.
Someone that I met with 2 days ago, Steve Bloom himself,
Oh,
because
wow.
I met with Steve, and when I showed him my voice acting, he told me he wanted me to succeed him in voice acting.
I think you will, Sebastian.
Yeah. Well, it's such an honor to finally meeting you right there. And that
It's an honor to
meeting you right here is the one thing to help give you a lot of recognition right there. Just like a good friend of mine, Chandra Hani, gotten a lot of recognition because of me. And eventually, you too will eventually be part of the Sebas voiceover world videos. Eventually.
Aw, thank you.
Of
Thank you so
course.
much.
Now, before I go, there's one question I wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
When people look back on your work, how do you want to be remembered as a voice actor?
Versatile and with an insane vocal range. I think that's something that I have dreams about. I personally would love to play a creature or like a man. I would love to be a creature or a man. I have a demon voice. I have it. There's so many voices that I have in my toolbox that I haven't used.
Hmm. Well, that's interesting right there. And that's why I'm going to I'm going to make sure I help you make it a reality. Whenever I get into the industry, I'll be willing to do anything in my power to make sure it happens. Cause trust
Oh,
me, I've
you.
have I have a lot of vocal ranges I'm working on, and I'm going to make it happen eventually.
Oh, Sebastian, you're so sweet. Thank you so much.
Of course. Well, it's such an honor to finally meet you, Kimoy, and that I hope we get to see each other through social media, my friend.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure I will. Or maybe at a con. You never know.
Hmm. Well, social media is a lot better by all means. So yeah.
Yes. See
Well, see you around, my
you
friend.
around. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Bye.
Want to keep up with my journey? Follow me on social media for more updates, behind the scenes moments, and all the fun along the way.